All right, we should be live now. My bad, I was having some connection issues, but I should be good. Should be good. But good to see everyone. We're gonna get started for today. We have a good amount of things to dive into and talk about. World U20s. We got European Championships. We got a lot. We got a lot of different things to take a look at. Actually, hold up. I need to make sure my I need to make sure the sound is good. Give me 1 second. Hold up 1 second. Let's see. Okay, no, we should be good. We should be good. All right. Dope. All right. So, yes, thanks for y'all for jumping in. We got a couple things to dive into. Again, we got World U20s. We got European champs. That's going to be the primary kind of like focus for what we'll talk about today. Um, and yeah, like been a lot. I'll talk about some of the Commonwealth games because I know people are coming for me for sure, which I appreciate because obviously I'm only one person with an opinion, so it's all good. But and then some I don't know. Oh well, I wanted to do a quick check on like the road to Ultimate Champs, just to see who's like in the rankings. I know with European champs, it's gonna be we'll see what's up. But yeah, I guess yeah. I mean, I appreciate y'all jumping in. Dynamics. I know you said I didn't get to see Jumpman's video. Um, I think I started watching it and then something came. I don't know what happened, but I just didn't finish. Um, but Zoe Hobbs' Commonwealth Games moment almost not being a thing because the New Zealand Federation set impossible standards and weren't going to send her. Um, I didn't even know what's going on with these federations. I know I would have thought these countries want to send as many athletes as possible and give them as much championship experience as possible to succeed. It's a good question. I wonder if there's aspects of I don't know who pays for the Commonwealth pays for athletes, right? Maybe the federations have to fund the athletes to go to Commonwealth. Maybe um, uh, Commonwealth and Diamond Leagues and Worlds Champ. I don't know. Like, I wonder if there's like some funding issue that could be behind it, possibly. If there's other things, I have no idea. That's a good question, but yeah, it's kind of crazy. Especially, I know New Zealand and Australia, they're like big in terms of hyping up the Commonwealth game. So that's a good question. Um, oh, they were trying to tell Zoe Hobbs that she should switch events because apparently they put her times on a graph and said she wouldn't make it at the Commonwealth Games though. Like I guess maybe they were comparing it to all the other athletes who weren't competing, like a Sharika Jackson or a Tina Clayton, maybe, but like I don't know. But yeah, that is interesting. That is very interesting. Yeah, the stars are aligning low key for this World U20 champs. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the World U20 champs for sure, for sure. And this is an off year. Like, listen, it's this is a good year. This is a very good year. But yes, appreciate seeing ya. Actually, I'm gonna talk about Commonwealth Games in a second as well. What's good? I just wanted to add to your Commonwealth Games video that after Birmingham hosted in 2022, their city council went bankrupt the following year as a result of hosting the games. Again, actually, that's what I'll talk about in a second, just to clarify, because it's like the Commonwealth Games are a mini Olympics. That I think is a bigger issue as it relates to their future. So yeah, that's a big issue. But yeah, always good to see ya. Always good to see ya. Oh yeah, okay. So some of the New Zealand standards were harsher than the World Champ standards from last year, which literally makes no sense. Like, all due respect, but like, why would they put the standards for New Zealand tougher than World Championships? It's like that doesn't even make sense. Um, European Championships, interesting developments coming from Commonwealth Games, possible championship records going down, especially in the jumps. Oh yeah, definitely. Um, are we talking about no one shaking Adaeja Hodge? Oh yeah, I'll note that as well. After the 200 win at Commonwealth Games. Yeah, okay, so maybe we could just talk about that. I guess I'm curious what y'all think. So, what's the deal with no one hugging or specifically shaking hands with Adaeja Hodge after the race? And there's something going on between her and Torrie Lewis, or something going on from Torrie Lewis's point of view. So, so for context, and no Quincy Wilson in the title. I mean, I don't know. I only have like 100 characters, or so I can't put everyone, but it is what it is. But appreciate everyone for jumping in. So with this whole situation, what do you call it? With Adaeja Hodge and Torrie Lewis. So obviously this stems from the fact that Adaeja Hodge was banned, right? Back in 2000, Adaeja Hodge won the World U20 gold medal in the 200 back in 2022. Torrie Lewis was second place, and so once Adaeja Hodge was banned, Torrie Lewis was upgraded to the gold medal. Now, I think the first thing is that Torrie Lewis didn't get her moment, right? She didn't get her moment to be on the podium and to like be recognized. That completely understand, especially as you look back to other athletes in the past who didn't get their moment at like the Olympics or the world champs, whatever. I completely do understand that. But then here, Torrie Lewis finished third place in the 100 behind Zoe Hobbs and then also Amy Hunt. So great, got a bronze medal in the Commonwealth Games. In the 200, Torrie Lewis finished fifth place while Adaeja Hodge had won the gold medal. Now, after the 200, that's when Adaeja Hodge and Torrie Lewis did interviews, and Torrie Lewis was like, I'm not going to speak about that. And then she said some stuff, you know what I'm talking about. And then also like, I didn't shake her hands, but I'm not going to speak about it. And then Adaeja Hodge was like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know why people didn't shake my hand. It's all, camaraderie. We're all competitors, but, we're all here to, compete. I don't know, all that stuff. Like Adaeja Hodge, just took it and moved on. I'm a little like, I don't know. I guess like I'm just like questionable about why Torrie would go about that route. Maybe she didn't want to shake hands. Fine. That's fair. Like we see that with top athletes all the time. But I'm questionable about how Torrie responded, because it seemed like behind the scenes she was aware that people would ask her, right? Because she was saying that she was told that she should not speak about it. So obviously she's still young as an athlete, so maybe hasn't had as much experience to just be like no comment or next question. She kind of did want to speak about it. So I guess I'm confused, right? Like she had some prep beforehand to say, listen, the journalists are going to ask you these questions about Adaeja Hodge, about this situation. You shouldn't speak about it, right? You should say no comment. You should say XYZ. So there was some prep because she said that, but she then spoke. So I don't know. That's where I'm kind of like hung up. And I do think it was just a little bit like I guess she is definitely upset. I trend towards like a little like, come on, Torrie, like really, like, is it that not to say it's not that serious, but it's like, I think after I don't know, she finished fifth place in the 200. So I'm just like, it's not like this situation had, I don't know, it's not like she finished fourth place and if Adaeja wasn't there, she would have gotten a medal, right? Like she finished fifth place or sixth place, whatever it was. So I don't know. I trend towards like, come on, Torrie, like, are we really, yes, athletes have been banned and athletes are always going to have questions if they are returning from a ban. But at the end of the day, like, we got to navigate the sport as it is. So I don't know, like, you'd be pretty disappointed if like if everyone is just going to be like, I'm questionable. Oh, I'm disappointed about every single athlete who has held a ban. I don't know. Like it's tough to navigate, but I don't know. I wasn't a fan of how Torrie kind of responded then. It was, and again, the thing I want to be very clear on is Torrie said, I was told not to speak on this. So clearly beforehand, there was some preparation from her team saying like, they are going to ask you these questions, right? So I don't know. Like, but yeah, it is what it is. I don't know. Everyone's gonna have a different opinion. You could take it as it is, but that's my thought. I don't know. But I know there's a lot of y'all commenting on this. Some of y'all are like, move on. Some of y'all have some different opinions. And yes, okay, so I know that Lil's brought up, so I'll go through some comments. But Torrie is only 21 years old. She'll learn how to navigate the media baiting as she matures. That being said, you also can't tell Torrie how to react or blame her to have the feelings that she has. In general, I agree here, right? Because she has the feelings, right? She does feel like, wow, okay, I was cheated out of my gold medal moment back in 2024 at the World U20s. But I'm also just like, I don't know. It's obviously that she wanted to speak about it when her team told her not to speak about it. Sure, she'll mature, she'll grow, she'll learn how to navigate the media, and sure, she's perfectly okay to have those different feelings. I guess just coming after the 200, I was a little like, it's just weird timing, and then also like, I don't know, like, are you like, at the end of the day, and obviously I always have this stance. If an athlete has served their ban, what do you expect to happen now? Do you expect them, unless you're calling for like lifetime bans, or in that case, like you just don't believe the athlete, which many people don't, right? I guess in this case, many people don't believe Adaeja Hodge that she's clean now or whatever it may be. I don't know, but I think that's then you're playing in a whole different game. It's just like a whole different game, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And then similar things. So Torrie's allowed to be upset. At the same time, Hodge is not at fault for what happened to her, and that's the biggest thing. I don't think Adaeja Hodge is at fault for what happened to her. Like Gerald Fury, I think definitely took advantage, but you know what it is. But at the end of the day, she served her ban. Like you know what I'm saying. But then I see some other people, right? Torrie was being salty. It was all in her delivery, and that I think I do agree with. She has some vendetta against her, maybe. Uh, yes, understandable, but why hold her accountable when we've established that it was under the influence of her coach at the time? Exactly, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah, we'll move on from here in a second. I'll get to just a few other comments. They asked Torrie why no one didn't shake Hodge's hand, and she replies, "I'm not surprised." Something along those lines, very salty. Hey, yeah, in my opinion, in my honest opinion, I think Hodge and her team has handled her comeback into the sport well. It's been very much get over it with when the truth is we didn't know about it until it was basically over. Yeah, I think Adaeja Hodge has handled it very, very well. So yeah, I'm gonna flow over because I don't want to get stuck too much. On this. Oh yes, I was actually in this press conference. So, do you remember the question Salwa Nasser got during the press conference after she won silver at the Olympics in 2024? People and reporters were still salty that she was competitive and won. Yeah, I was actually at that press conference in Paris. Afterwards, the Irish media was kind of going crazy. I think I was at that press conference. I don't know. I was working at the Paris meet, but at the Paris Olympics. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, and that's why I say like. People are always going to be salty. People are always going to have questions. You're never going to get over the fact that certain people are going to question athletes who have served a ban. And also sometimes maybe they served a ban and they're done, but maybe that's their favorite athlete, right? I think the journalists in Paris were ridiculous. Like that was like really, really crazy. But I just don't understand like what people's expectations are. Unless you are calling for a lifetime ban for anyone who's had an offense, because then like I don't know what you're asking. I have no idea, but it is what it is. So we'll move on though, and maybe we'll circle back to this at the end. The other things very quickly, and I'll just flow out this. I just wanted to give some highlight over to shout out to Adaeja Oakley. This is my fault. So in my video of the Commonwealth Games, I broke down every single medalist and all the sprints, the horizontal jumps, and then the hurdles. But I'll be honest, I didn't watch the mixed 4x4 before I made the video. I only saw the 4x1s. I saw everything except the mixed 4x4. I think I didn't see the women's 4x1 either. But Adaeja Oakley split 48.68 seconds on the anchor leg, coming back from like fourth, fifth place to be able to run down the rest of the field, which was wild. Like run down the rest of the field to bring Jamaica into the gold medal position, which was huge. Shout out to Adaeja Oakley. Obviously, she already won the 400. Yeah, fourth place. So she already won the 400 at the games. Obviously, she's been having a dream season. She's run 48 seconds, I think, twice now this year. Like Adaeja Oakley has been on fire this year, cooking. And to cap things off, because I think she's done with her season, from my understanding, she's capping off what in theory is like a perfect year. Well, indoors she didn't have a perfect year, right? But all things considered, an amazing year, and she's going to be a very, very big talent. Now, I will say, someone on Twitter, okay, yes, Oakley on Twitter said it's her season finale. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oakley doing that. My bad. Yeah. Oakley. So it's her season finale. So she's done. Oakley doing that 2-year anniversary of Femke Bull running down everyone at Paris. Yeah. That was crazy. Yeah, man. Woo. But what you call it with Adaeja Oakley though? I'm interested to see. I was talking. I think someone would tag me on Twitter and they were like, "What do you think of Adaeja or something like that?" And I was like, they were saying that she's going to challenge Marley to Paulino, and I was like, let's slow down. And I essentially said that I look at it like 4 tiers of 400-meter women right now. I look at Cindy McLaughlin-Roney and Marley Paulino as a first tier. Second tier, I look at Salwa Nasser. Third tier, I look at anyone who's run sub 49 seconds. So Natalia Bukowiecka, now Dejanay Oakley, you have Aaliyah Butler, right? You have Nikisha Price, right? You have all those, sub 49-second runners. You can even put in like, some other women. And then I really put it in like everyone else, right? Like I put everyone else. And I say that to say, even though Dejanay Oakley is having an amazing year with her 48-second runs, with her with your 48-second runs, with her 48-second splits, like that doesn't make a career yet, right? Like Dejanay Oakley still has to then step up and go and win medals at the World Championships, at the Olympic Games, run 48 seconds a bunch of times. Not saying she won't, but we saw with Nikisha Price, she hasn't run 48 seconds, again yet. Now, well, she did it what, three times in 2024, but like we haven't seen that pan out into a career yet. Dejanay Oakley is just getting started, and she has a ton of talent. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. And I saw some of y'all saying it literally yesterday. Paulino just comes and runs 48.5 on a relay split, right? On the mixed 4x4 at the CAC games. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think this goes to the point of like, Paulino is on a different level. This, like, we got to be completely honest. This is a scrimmage for Paulino. She probably came to the CAC games to be like, yo, let me get some races in. Obviously, everyone's at Commonwealth games. Everyone's at European champs. There's no Diamond Leagues going on. Let me go here so I can get some races in before I jump back on the Diamond League circuit. And she splits 48.5, 48.51. And yes, this is her split, but she's already run 48.4 this year on the Diamond League, right? Like, I think we just need to slow down a little bit in the sense of like potential versus actual results that have occurred. Like Paulino has gold medals at the Olympics, at the Worlds, has run 47 seconds, only losing to, my bad, Cindy McLaughlin-Levrone, right? Like it's a different situation. It's a different situation. So again, all due respect to Dejanay Oakley, but it's like there's still levels before we get to Paulino. I think Oakley has a ton of talent, but we gotta baby steps, right? Certain races aren't a career. You know what I'm saying? Certain races aren't a career. And yeah, Aaliyah Butler split 48.6 earlier this year, right? Like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like we got time. We got time. Oh yeah, I mean, sure, yes. I give Dejanay Oakley, and I'm gonna go back to a few comments as well, my bad. It was cold in Scotland, so give Dejanay her props. What do you give her for the cold? Absolutely. I'm giving Dejanay Oakley huge props. I think she's going to be a massive talent. And yes, it was very cold in Scotland for sure. But I don't want us to get caught up in the idea that a relay split and, a few 48-second runs means that Dejanay Oakley is going to be beating out Marlene Paulino consistently on the circuit, right? Like, those are two different worlds. And obviously, like, I don't know, it's just two different worlds. Again, this is not to downplay Dejanay. I would arguably put her as one of the better talents, one of the better young talents right now, out of the likes of an Aaliyah Butler. You have, we'll talk about Europeans in a few, right? But you have Manuel, right? You have Henriette Jaeger, you have Amber Anning, right? You have Rashida Delicate. Like, I would put Dejanay maybe up there in some of the more possibly stronger talents, even maybe ahead of Nikisha Price, because we haven't seen her consistency yet. But it's still questions, right? Like literally, she's just coming out of NCAA, so TBD. But yeah, we can't downplay any of the Dejanay in any capacity. So yeah. Oh yes, and yeah, like I said, yeah, Paulino, she split the 48, so it's like it's different levels. And yes, I agree with this, right? She's on her way, if she's not already there, to being Jamaica's most consistent 400-meter athlete in a while. 100%. You can get to that argument. Obviously, on the times, obviously Nikisha Price on average is still faster because she has the 48.5 and she has the 48.8. But like when you look at someone like what's her name? Sharika Williams, who has like multiple medals at the World Championships, right? Sharika Jackson, Sharika Williams has multiple medals one at the Olympics and then one at the World Champs. Sharika Jackson has 3 medals in the 400 at Worlds and Olympics. It's like there's still levels. Even if the times are there, I still weigh medals pretty heavily. So we'll see. But that's that's that. The other thing I did want to note is, as it relates to the Commonwealth Games. So I'm gonna jump into World U20s in a second. But with the Commonwealth Games, I wonder. Obviously, I did that video. I don't know if y'all thought I was like too harsh. I know a lot of people were coming at me. I definitely put the title. I definitely was a little bit too harsh. I probably went a little bit too in with the title. Oh, do we still need the Commonwealth Games or something like that? But I don't know. I think, and I definitely I changed the title, I changed the thumbnail because like I could see. I think I was and I'm just gonna close this for the time being, but like I think I definitely was a little bit too harsh because I probably didn't appreciate the sense that like athletes from smaller countries still get a lot of recognition, still get a lot of appreciation, get the opportunity to compete at the Commonwealth Games when they may not get an opportunity at another major championships. When what's his name? Letsile Toboho in one of the press conferences for the Diamond League, he said that like I'm not going to Commonwealth Games because we want to give our younger athletes a chance to shine. I was actually praising that because I was like, yeah, that's perfect. Like, sure, I would love to see Letsile and Busang, but like some of the younger athletes, this is a bigger stage for them to get some experience for the future when they do line up at World Champs. So that I definitely want to call out because one of my last things I did say at the end was I said like, oh, if the Commonwealth Games goes away, like no one's gonna blink an eye. People people will be disappointed for sure. So I want to at least give some shout out there. But I still do have questions about the future of the Commonwealth Games, specifically when it comes to financially, right? Because we saw it with Victoria, they pulled out. Victoria, Australia, they pulled out, and then it went to Glasgow, Scotland as a last minute situation. I think Nigeria had tried to bid against Glasgow or something like that in that time period. But like, Nigeria, unfortunately, all due respect, I would love to see it there, but like they weren't going to get it. So it just went to Glasgow. But I have those questions going long term when we're talking about Commonwealth Games. This is a mini Olympic Games. This isn't an athletics championships. This isn't a swimming championships. This is everything, right? Now they drastically cut down the amount of events that were occurring at the Commonwealth Games this year in terms of like the different sports. But I don't know what will happen in the future. I think that the idea is they're going to cut it down where they'll have less sports. They'll let certain countries choose which sports they'll actually compete in or will actually contest. I don't know. And from what I looked up before, I think that so India is hosting in 2030. That's all set, and it was a unanimous bid. Only I think India and Nigeria bid for it in 2030. So it's not like a whole bunch of countries bid. Then in 2034, I know Nigeria, I think submitted another bid, and like one other country has bid for the time being, or something, or is exploring a bid. I think East African nations are exploring like a combined bid. So it's like it's questionable on like how sustainable it will be in the future, more so on the financial end. That's kind of what I'm really thinking about. So, and then like many of you are saying, right, like a lot of top athletes are just not competing there. And if top athletes don't compete, then like that's less of an incentive for other athletes to compete. And then it loses its prestige in terms of like how we look at the Commonwealth Games. Again, all due respect, but like people bash Asafa Powell even though he has a Commonwealth Games gold medal, because he doesn't have a world or Olympic gold medal, right? Despite all the fast times. We never saw Usain Bolt or Shelley-Ann Fraser-Pryce run individually at the Commonwealth Games. There's a whole bunch of athletes who have not run individually at the Commonwealth Games as some of the biggest athletes in the sport. Now, you do have, amazing performances like, Tobiyamu-san in 2022. You had Dream Richards in 2022, right? Those are just some that come to mind. Obviously here we saw athletes like Adaeja Oakley going crazy. We saw, Devin Charlton pull a big upset to get the 100 hurdle win, right? Like you have, Samuel Ghazi winning the title. Like all the, obviously Emmanuel Esseman, Lucky Kennedy, Kanisola Ajayi, Zoe Hobbs. Like you have all these different, things, but it's just not going to get that spotlight, right? Like, I don't know if people are going to say, all right, Emmanuel Esseman, oh yes, Elaine Thompson-Herah doubling up in 2022. But are people going to say, all right, Emmanuel Esseman, you are now definitely going to get a medal at the World Champs? Or if he doesn't medal, are people going to remember his Commonwealth Games win in the same light as they would others, right? It's dependent. Usain Bolt ran the relay in 2014 on the Commonwealth Games, and then I think Shelley-Ann ran the relay in 2018, maybe? Or no, couldn't have been 2018. Maybe 2014 as well, something like that. But yeah, I don't know. But it's an interesting discussion. That's what I'll say. That's what I'll say. Yes, good question. I wonder if World Ultimates weren't a thing, if more stars would run at the Commonwealth Games. I think that's a good question because maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, because it's an off year. But again, in previous years, because Commonwealth Games is always in the off year. Previous stars haven't always run at Commonwealth in the past, right? Um, so I don't know. Open it up to non-British crown countries. I mean, there's some countries who have joined the Commonwealth who are not British colonies, but it's not like I don't think they're gonna. We're not gonna see like the United States and all of Europe like entering the Commonwealth Games. Like it wouldn't make sense. Amy Hunt in an interview said she might not do another Commonwealth Games due to the history of the. Oh, interesting. Due to the history of British colonialization, only done one for legacy purposes and as an athlete. That's actually very interesting because I had not heard an athlete actually say that. That's interesting. Because yeah, even though like I feel like I might have gone a little too far in my video, I still hold similar views. Like I still think the history of the Commonwealth Games is questionable at best in the sense that like it was formerly called the British Empire Games. Now I can understand the evolution and what the Commonwealth has turned into, and like a grouping of nations where they support each other. Obviously, this is athletics, but like economically, geopolitically, in different capacities. But it's interesting. It's interesting. Um, but yeah, so the games are based on the history of colonialism, which the average person doesn't care about. Um, some of the Jamaican top athletes opted not to go to the Commonwealth Games because of the weather conditions in Glasgow, which is a good point. And if we don't see it move around, it'll be in India next time. But like if we see it in the UK a lot, the weather is not always going to be good. Um, but if it's too expensive to host and countries are withdrawing their bids, and yeah, I kind of spoke about that. Like I don't know how many countries are actually going to bid. Um, yeah, Justin called it the colonizer games. I mean, I've heard it a lot. I've heard it a lot. And again, it's questionable, but I can also acknowledge how it's evolved into, just different nations supporting each other. Um, but yeah, let me see. Oh, I'm gonna get to the other question. My bad. Question: Do we keep calling this an off year despite there being a major championships all the top athletes are peaking for with the most prize money offered? Yeah, good point. Yes, this is not an off year. This is a major championships and all the top athletes are competing at the World Ultimate Champs. So yes, not an off year. Good call out. Was Charlton an upset though? I know Toby may have been the favorite to win, but I would not say Charlton winning wasn't upsetting. Was upsetting, especially given the landscape of the 100-meter hurdles. Yes, I think so. I think because this year, from what I remember, Devon Charlton hasn't beat out Tobi Amisan. Maybe at the first time in league she might have, but I think I think it's been clear throughout this year that Tobi Amisan has been number 2 behind Masai Russell. And here in this Commonwealth Games race, many people expected Tobi Amisan to continue on that trajectory, right? She's run 12.2 this year. She's run very fast. So I think it was an upset, not a massive well, I guess I said massive upset. Maybe it wasn't a massive upset, but I think it still can be considered an upset because Toby was the favorite, So, but yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Um, Let me see. But yeah, yeah. This year would have been an off year if it wasn't for World Ultimate Champs. Exactly. Um, I think I think oh, my bad. I think area hosting would benefit the games if they did in different areas. Maybe that's a good note. It's no different from the former slave situation in the United States. At least most of these countries are now independent. Yeah, again, I think a lot of things in general around the world are rooted in a lot of similar issues. Like when you go back all the way through history, and they've evolved into different things. It's just that I don't know. For me, I question it. It's the same thing. Just like a lot of systems in the United States that are rooted in whether it's like rooted in whether it's like I guess racism, or I'm trying to think of like institutions that were built on slavery to a degree and how they were like exploited, but now they've kind of evolved into different things. Like I think it's important to acknowledge those, but then there's aspects where it's like this is a situation we're in and maybe it's evolved into something different, and maybe people look at it differently. I don't know. It's like it's interesting. But I will say to before we look at, we're gonna dive into the World U20 champs and just preview some of the events there, and then the European champs afterwards. But I mean, the Commonwealth Games are a big positive for the up and coming athletes that gives them a platform to showcase their talents to the fans, the sport, and potential sponsors, which I agree with. That I definitely agree with. Right? You wouldn't get. I mean, Emmanuel Esime probably would not get this opportunity this chance to showcase himself if he didn't have the Commonwealth Games. Because imagine you go to he's going to be at World Ultimate Championships, but what if he finishes fourth place running 9.83, right? Like he won't get that spotlight because he's fourth place off the podium. Excuse me. So it's tricky. It's tricky. So you know, okay, so let's move over and talk about the World U20 Championships because these were very good. These were very, very good. So I'm gonna pull up. Let me see here. I'm gonna pull up the entries. These actually did work out pretty well. Let me see if I have these here. I'm excited. Oh wait, hold up, my bad. World U20 Champs is gonna be here. I'm gonna put this on the screen in 1 second. So World U20 Championships. I'm excited, man. I am very, very excited, and we have a lot. We have a lot. Let me see. I want to close this out. I want to make sure I can. Okay, so we're just gonna go through all the different events. Not all the different events. We're gonna go through the men's 100, 200, and 400, as well as the women's 100, 200, and 400. Those will be the primary ones, and then we're gonna move over to Europeans. And then maybe if there's other things that we want to call out to a degree. But first off, we have the men's 100 at the World U20 Championships. This is actually going down. Let me actually cross-check. I forget exactly when this starts. Yeah, so the 5th of August, so actually starts tomorrow, and then runs all the way through the weekend, August 9th. So first off, men's 100 meters. This is going to be very good. This is going to be very, very good. We have a couple different guys. Gary Card from Jamaica. You have Marco Ferreira, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. He's from South Africa. He's going to be a problem. You have Tate Taylor, obviously, and you have Jake Jordan. You have Dylan Mitchell, and you have a couple other guys. This is going to be hot. This is going to be very, very hot. Now, this is really going to be, I think Gary Card and Tate Taylor are like the top two guys who many people have had their eye on. But Marco is going to be in this conversation. Jake Jordan, Dylan Mitchell, a little bit in there. But for context, right? And yes, this is going to be in Eugene, U20 Championships in Eugene, Oregon. So like we can expect some fast times. And well, actually, I'll say this afterwards. But Gary Card, he's run 9.93 seconds this year. So he's the world leader, world U20 leader, right? He's like Jamaica's new rising star. He's like the next up in Jamaica. Last year, he did very well at champs, at boys and girls champs. He got injured, I think, after that, but then he came back, and obviously he's back this year, and he's run 9.93. Jamaican U20 record. I think he's number 3 all time in U20 history because you have Latila Taboho 9.91 seconds, Tate Taylor, who we'll talk about in a second, with 9.92, and then Gary Card 9.93. So Gary Card, he is going to be a problem. And also this year he ran 9.93. He's also run 10.03 as well. So he's going to be in the mix. But along with him, you have Tate Taylor. Tate Taylor has been on fire this year. Now, he's only run 10.04 this year. So I think he's second. Marco has also run 10.04. We'll talk about him in a second. But Tate Taylor, 10.04 this year, but he has a personal best of 9.92 seconds from last year. So he's like in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's good. On top of that, he's dominated like everything for the most part, right? He's dominated everything. He even he didn't dominate, but he went over to Tokyo to that Continental Tour and finished second place to Noah Lyles in that 100 meters, right? So we'll see. And yes, Taylor did focus primarily on the 200, but he's run some Tate Taylor has run some good hundreds this year. Remember, he was out in Myanmar, right? And he ran a very fast race behind Akeem Blake. It was windy, but he ran very well. He's run 9.92 last year. This year he ran 10.04. He's also run 10.05. Again, he went over to Tokyo and competed with Noah. So when I'm looking at Tate Taylor and Gary Card, Tate Taylor actually, on paper, has more experience against some of like top athletes around the world because he's been competing, in these much bigger races, even though Gary Card is faster. But essentially, and this is in Eugene. Tate Taylor has been running in Eugene a lot this year. So this is like his track. But I think this is very, very close. I think this is going to be very, very close. Gary Card, Tate Taylor, I think these two are like by far the top two. Gary Card, I expect to have a big jump because now he's going to be at the track at Eugene. I also expect Tate Taylor to have a big jump. I would not be surprised. Again, the world U20 record, and I'll bring this up, but the world U20 record is 9.91 seconds from Letsile Teboho from back in 2020 2022. Let me bring up the U20. So I actually do expect. I mean, who knows? The weather looks good in Eugene this weekend, but we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if this actually does go down. So we'll see what's up. Now, outside of them, Marco also is someone to look out for. He's run 10.04 this year. He's kind of had a big jump this year. I think his best last year was 10:30 something, like 10:30, 10.3 something. Like he hadn't run fast last year, but he's run very fast this year. Again, 10:04. And on top of that, what I actually really like about Marco is that he's been running all around the world. Not just he's from South Africa, but he's been running in Europe against certain athletes. So he's been mixing it up, and he's run very consistently within the 10:0 range. So Marco is someone you should not sleep on. We should not sleep on. And remember, we saw what happened with Bando Walaza in 2024, where he kind of like went off, did a double. Now, I'm not expecting Marco to do that, but like we could see Marco really kind of mix things up. But we'll see. We'll see. And yes, I know, and actually, my bad. Let me get to Jake and Dylan. But Jake Jordan, he's going to be in the mix. I'm a little less confident about his ability to like really mix it up with the top guys, though he has a lot of talent. He's run 10:05 this year. He's run a windy 9.98. I think this was down in Texas, that meet that Trayvon Bromell, Andre DeGrasse, Oblique Seville, that meet. Jake Jordan was in that race or something like that. So, he's run a windy sub 10, but we'll see how he actually does play out. But I don't think Jake Jordan has ever beat Tate Taylor over 100 meters. So that's why I'm not as confident yet about, okay, he's going to be up there. But he could, right? Dylan Mitchell is another one who also should not be slept on. He's run 10 point. Dylan Mitchell's reserves. Thanks for the call out. My bad. I didn't realize that. Thanks for that call out. Oh, yes. Okay, so I got to cross check because I didn't even realize that. I forgot. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, my bad. Shout out to Dylan Mitchell though. I guess he won't be in there. But good call out. Didn't Jake beat Tate at Nike now? Oh yes, he did. He did. Why did I forget that? Did I forget that? I wonder why I forgot that. Let me see. He did. No, did he? At Nike Nationals? Did he? My bad. Let me bring this up for 2020, 2026. Let me see. Y'all might be right. And yes, I wish they separated the reserves from the list, because it's like, what is going on? Because I was looking at it all. Okay, he did. Why did I forget about that? You know what's crazy? I was bringing up okay, that's why they don't have it listed. So that must be it, because I was looking at their head-to-head earlier. So let me just bring up their head-to-head. So in the 100 meters, Tate Taylor and Jake Jordan, they don't have. So they only have. So Jake Jordan has 2-1, but LSU earlier this year, Tate Taylor didn't run. He didn't start the race. So they gave him a DNS, and so Jake Jordan got a second place here, so he got a win. But that doesn't count. Tate Taylor didn't run. At the Seiko Golden Grand Prix, they had heats and final. Jake Jordan beat Tate Taylor in the heats, but he lost him in the final. So I don't like the heats don't mean anything if you're going to a final to me. So I didn't realize. I guess they didn't have Nike Nationals. I completely forgot. So good point. I don't know. Oh yes. Okay. Oh. This is so confusing, y'all. Yes. Okay. So USA U20 Championships was the same thing as Nike Outdoor Nationals. So when I was looking at this, I guess they didn't put Jake Jordan. I don't know how they kind of like. I know they combined the meets, but I guess I was confused. Sorry, y'all. I don't understand. I don't understand. This is like weird. But I appreciate y'all. Shout out to Jake Jordan. We'll see what happens in the men's 100. Let's move over and talk about the men's 200 though. And this also is going to be pretty good. I think well, I don't know if it's another, but here, this is really Tate Taylor versus the field. Tate Taylor, by far the fastest, by far the favorite. Like, it's not even close. He's run 19.75 seconds. Yeah, 19.75 seconds to beat out like the Diamond League field at Prefontaine Classic. He's the class of the field, and he's run sub 20 multiple times this year, right? 19.94. Like, he's been cooking. So Tate Taylor is the absolute class of the field, and he's been competing against high quality athletes. Again, at Prefontaine Classic, at the Lone Star Grand Prix in Texas. So in all honesty, it's going to be very hard to actually take Taylor down here. Like, it's going to be very, very hard to take him down. Anything can happen, but you're going to have to assume that Tate Taylor drops back heavily, and then, everyone else steps up heavily. And this is the same track where he's run 19.9 and 19.7. So it's going to be hard to take Tate Taylor down, but anything can happen. I think what I'm looking at is to see, can he take down this is what I'll say. World U20 record for the men's 200 is 19.49, right? That's Ariane Knighton's mark that he ran at LSU. So take that as you will. Obviously, it wasn't ratified. It was never ratified. Can Tate Taylor break the World U20 record that Gaukau just broke earlier this year, the one that got ratified? Let me just close this out. Can Tate Taylor actually get to this mark? That, I think, is a question. Obviously, he ran this 19.75 with a slight tailwind. Obviously, the wind in the 200 is always questionable in terms of like how it's moving. But can he get to 19.6, right? Like, can he get to 19.6? And yes, I know, good point. Like, I didn't think Adaeja would lose, but anything can happen. He did, right? So very good point. That's why I say Tate Taylor is the clear favorite, but anything can happen, right? Like, anything can happen. I think you'd be hard pressed to not pick Tate Taylor for the win, but if he loses, I guess it would be a shock, but it's not like completely outside the realm. But the problem is the rest of the guys are really far behind, right? So Blake Hamilton, he's run 20.02 this year. I think he has a windy, from what I saw, he has a windy 19.8, but it was like plus 4.6. So, but Blake Hamilton, he's someone who could be in there. Gary Card, he's run he ran 20.28 seconds, and he actually ran at the Hungary Continental Tour meeting. Now, he fell back in the pack, so he wasn't like super competitive, but he ran a personal best there. Jake Jordan, obviously, he's run pretty well. He's run 20.3. So that's, I think, the problem with the field, where Tate Taylor is so far ahead of the field. Like, he's run 19 seconds multiple times this year, whereas everyone else has yet to break 20 seconds. But anything can happen. Anything can happen. We'll see how these guys actually do play out. And I think Tate Taylor definitely favors the 200, whereas Gary Carr doing a double, I don't know. He's done doubles in the past, but like, is he going to be up to, all right, you do 100 and then a 200 and you're ready to run 19.8 or something? You know what I'm saying? Like 19.7. So we'll see. And yes, I agree. No one is matching Tate Taylor's top speed, right? Like, no one is touching it. So, but we'll see. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. So, shout out to the men's 200. My bad. We'll see what's up. But before that, actually, I do just want to quickly go back to the 100. And I am curious. I want to just put a. Let me see. I'm gonna put a poll here. So, who will win? Let's see. Who will win the men's 100 meters at U20s? So I am curious who y'all think will win. So either Gary Card, Tate Taylor. So let's see who else is here. So Marco, and we'll let this run a little bit, or Jake Jordan. Let's see. So, all right. So yeah. So go in the chat. Who do you think will win the 100 meters at World U20s? In the chat, type 1 for Gary Card, type 2 for Tate Taylor, type 3 for Marco, or type 4 for Jake Jordan. Curious who y'all think. And we'll let that run for a bit. Again, 1 for Gary Card, 2 for Tate Taylor, 3 for Marco, and then 4 for Jake Jordan. Again, this is the men's 100 meters. Gary Card, 1, Tate Taylor 2, Marco 3, Jake Jordan 4. Who y'all think is going to win? I think it's going to be pretty close. Because again, Gary Card, he's run 9.93 seconds. Tate Taylor, he's run 10.04 this year, but has a personal best of 9.92. So I don't know. And clearly, so no one thinks Marco's going to win. No one thinks Jake Jordan's going to win. But clearly, it's pretty split. All right, Jake Jordan got a point on the board. But clearly, it's pretty split, right? 54. Okay, maybe getting a little closer, right? But I don't know. I think the 100 is going to be very close. The 200 is a whole different discussion, right? But the 100 is going to be very, very close. And Gary Card is motivated. Tate Taylor is motivated. Tate Taylor, this is his home track. Well, quote unquote home track. Like he's raced here very frequently throughout the year. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I don't know. We'll see. I guess a couple more people are leaning towards Gary Card, Um, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so we'll hold the poll there, and then we'll move over quickly. So yeah, we'll roll with that. So Gary Card, for the most part, Tate Taylor gets it right after, but I think it'll still be very, very close, very, very close. So, all right, dope. Appreciate it. I'm gonna move over and we'll talk about. Actually, let me go to the women's 100. Shanoya, right? No, let's see. Shanoy. There we go. Okay. There we go. So let's go to the women's 100 first, and then I'll come back to the 400s afterwards. But we're going to roll through the women's 400. This is going to be a very hot competition. So we have Shanoya Douglas, probably the favorite for the most part, but I think it's going to be very close with the Maxwell twins. Like very, very close with the Maxwell twins. Like I know Shanoya Douglas, she's run 10.98 seconds this year. She ran that crazy, what was it, 11.1 at Krifta Games into a headwind, and she got like a terrible start. Like that rate, I'm pretty sure it was Krifta Games, but Shanoya went crazy at Krifta and she ran super, super fast. So shout out to Shanoya Douglas. But I don't know, the Maxwell twins are also going to be in the mix, right? Maxwell twins, Mia Maxwell, she's run 11:08 this year. Last year, she ran 11:04 as her personal best. So we'll see how she actually does pan out. Mariah Maxwell, she's run 11:11 this year. So it's okay. Okay, not as fast as Shanoya and Maya. I do think Shanoya and Maya are like the two athletes to really look out for. The thing that Maya has on her side maybe is that she's competed more frequently against like higher quality athletes, right? She's been in some of these races with the pros and all that stuff. So that's where maybe experience might come into play. But Shanoya Douglas, I think on paper is just more talented. But the 100, I think, is still going to be close. And this is what I wanted to say earlier. In any of these U20 races, expect some of these athletes to make some big jumps because they are very young. Many of them are running on a very fast track for the first time, like a massively fast track for the first time. So expect some big jumps in their performances, assuming the weather is good. But I think the Maxwell twins are going to be a problem. Now, Hickinson is someone to not, sleep on as well. I think she competes for Guyana. She competes for Guyana. She's run 11:10 this year as a personal best into a slight headwind. She is not too far off the Guyanese national record, 11:07. Shout out to Jasmine Abrams. But we'll see. She's put in a lot of work. So she's someone, and she's been running for is it Baylor? I think she's been at LSU. Someone else has been for Baylor. She's been at LSU. So we'll see. What she actually does, but she's someone. Hickinson is someone to not sleep on. Kellyanne, I know y'all mentioned her, right? Kellyanne is in the mix. Yeah, like she's someone who also can do some damage. Like, and what does she run this year? 11:14 this year, but she's someone representing Italy. She can like really put in some serious damage. So someone to look out for sure. And we'll see what's up. Who am I looking at here? So Diana Lee Terrelonge, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, apologies. I'm actually not super familiar, but if I'm not mad at that she's a huge threat to threaten Douglas. So she's run 11:18 this year, personal best of 11:13. I like that. And she's only 18 years old, right? Like, yeah, well, actually, no, she's 17. She's turning 18. So maybe that's what y'all were saying. That's a U18 European record. Or wait, maybe Kellyanne. My bad. Maybe I'm thinking of Carrie Long. Oh, Terry Long. Apologies. I'm mixing up my the countries. So Terry Long is someone who could be in the mix. Kellyanne is the one from Italy who actually was the one to from Europe. So my bad. I'm just confusing. Terry Long from Jamaica is also someone who could really be in the mix. Okay, nice, dope. So we gotta this women's 100 is I think it's gonna be good. This is like very very good, and appreciate the cross check with the pronunciation. So Terry Long, gotcha. Appreciate that. So yeah, we'll see. But I do think obviously I think Shanoya Douglas is the most talented in this field, but let's not sleep on the fact that she is not way ahead of the field. Like she has some competition here. Let's be very, very clear. And as I said, a lot of these athletes could make a big jump in their performances. So who knows? Obviously, Shanoya can as well, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves on like Shanoya's just going to sweep everything. It's not going to be that easy. It's not going to be that easy. Though she's talented, and if I was to pick a medalist like or gold medalist, I'm picking Shanoya, but like it's going to be close. But where I don't think it'll be close is the 200. The 200, I think this is where Shanoya is like the clear favorite. Now, not an absolute like blowout, oh, like no one's going to touch you favorite, but like she's a clear favorite. I was looking at Shanoya's marks. Shanoya, obviously, personal best of 22.11 seconds, which she ran to win the CRIFTA games. She's also run 22.36 at champs this year, right, into a negative 1.6 headwind. Then she has times of 22.56, 22.58. She has been so consistent, and her depth of marks is insane. Like Shanoya Douglas is so far ahead of the field. And what I like about her in the 200 is that she has a lot of 400 talent as well. And that's going to carry her through in terms of like the strength and speed endurance relative to the other athletes who might be 100, 200 athletes, right? So Shanoya Douglas is someone who is like, she's going to be a problem. And on top of that, she has the ability to do multiple events at championships. She's done the 400, 200, 100, 4x1 or whatever it is, like quadruple at CRIFTA in the past. So like, listen, Shanoya Douglas in the 200 is a problem. And when you look at her depth of marks compared to Mariah Maxwell, Mariah's personal best is 22.44 seconds. So Shanoya has multiple marks ahead of her in terms of just personal best, right? So Shanoya is the clear favorite in this 200. But Mariah Maxwell, probably the next best. Mia Maxwell, probably the next best. Mia has some consistency, though. Well, I don't know. Actually, no. Mariah has a consistency, but Mia is like just behind. I think she only has one mark under 23 seconds. So we'll see. But shout out to Shanoya and the Maxwell twins. This is like clearly for Shanoya to take the win. The other thing to take a look at is the two Nigerian women, right? Yeah, both from Nigeria. So you have Olubebe Ezuchukwu, and then also you have Success Oyibu. Man, don't come at me. Don't come for me. But what you call it? Yeah. So Olubebe, she's Oluebube, if I'm pronouncing correctly. Ezuchukwu. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. But she actually she's been having a pretty good year. She ran 22.77. She ran 22.91 this year. These were all out in Nigeria. So, she's someone to look out for. But I think Success is really, really someone to look out for. She's been very consistent under the 23 second barrier. She's run 22.90, 22.94, 22.96, 22.96, 22.99. Like she has a lot of sub 23 second races. Only second to Shanoya Douglas and Mariah Maxwell. Now, she's been in the NCAA, so she's been running against quote-unquote higher quality athletes throughout the year, though the Maxwell twins, they've been racing, pros and stuff. But we'll see. She's the one who competes for Baylor. That's why I was getting confused before. But we'll see. So shout out to Success. Shout out to all the women in the 200. So we'll see. Okay, so it's going to be that easy. Douglas for both races. She's definitely one for the big races. She loves it. I don't know. In the 100, I think it's closer. In the 200, I think Shanoya in the 200 is like Tate Taylor in the men's 200. But like the 100 is going to be close. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, we're going to end off the U20s and talk about the 400s. I'll just talk about the women's 400 real quick here because this one I have on deck already. Women's 400. This one is really, This one is really a two-person race for the most part. So this is going to be Adaeja versus Ayebeba, Ayeba. Listen, man, I gotta get these pronunciations. This is why I don't do announcing. But Adaeja versus Ajeba. And apologies for the pronunciation. But so Adaeja, she's been on fire. She's run 51.08 this year, 51.41, 51.70. Like she's been on fire all throughout the year. But then you have Ajeba. She's run also pretty consistent, 51.3, 51.5, 51.7 twice. So these two are like the clear top two favorites in this field. The question for me is, can anyone get under the 51-second barrier? Either of them. And then also, do we see anyone else kind of like step up and maybe, get into the mix? I think Clara Adams has run 51.6 this year, but then hasn't broken 52 after that. So I don't know. The women's 400 a little bit mixed, but these are the top two to definitely look out for. Then on the men's 400, this is where this is going to be interesting. So there we go. So men's 400. This one I think is going to be pretty interesting because Quincy Wilson, obviously, he's the guy in this field, but he's going to have a lot of competition. So Quincy Wilson, obviously, this is, I don't know, this might be one of the biggest tests of Quincy Wilson's career. I'll circle back to the hurdles in a second. Y'all gonna have to like put me on because I'm not as well versed in the hurdles, especially because of the different heights and stuff. But Quincy Wilson, I think this actually might be one of Quincy Wilson's biggest tests of his career. Obviously, he's been at Olympic trials. He's been at World, USA, trials. He's competed at the Olympic Games, at least on the 4x4. He's competed at Millrose Games and New Balance Indoor Grand Prix. But I actually think this is a pretty big quote-unquote test for Quincy and maybe one of his biggest races because these are athletes in his age group, right? Sure, he's been competing against pro athletes all throughout, over the past, 2 years or so. But when it comes to his competition against his age group, athletes in his age group, and when he hasn't been having as great of a year, that is like, and yeah, someone said it, right? Quincy hasn't run as well this year compared to last year and the year before. I think that's what makes this a big test for Quincy to see, okay, what do you do in the face of quote unquote adversity, right? When you're not running as high, are you still able to stand out as the best, 400 athlete in this field? Because his personal best is what, 44.10, right? Like he is way ahead of any of these athletes just on the clock. This year, though, Quincy has quote unquote only run what did he run? 44.7? What's his best this year? His best this year is 44.84, right? So again, that's why I think it's going to be a big test for Quincy. What do you do in this field against some of these other guys, the guys that are your age? And he's transitioning into the NCAA, right? He's going to Maryland in the fall. So this has maybe been a quote unquote transition year for him, but we'll see. Now, a couple other guys. Jaden De Leon, he has beat out Quincy, twice this year? He did it indoors. He did it outdoors to actually beat him at USA U20s. He's run 44.5 this year. The only thing is I'm not super impressed with Jaden's consistency. I think after his 44.5, he's run 45 seconds. So he hasn't run sub 45 multiple times this year at least, but he's motivated. He's like, yo, this might be it for me in the sense of like, this is my year. Like this might be my year. You know what I'm saying? So Jaden, he is definitely someone to look out for. Suleiman, he is someone who is not to be slept on, competes for United Arab Emirates, 44.85 this year. So just behind Quincy Wilson in terms of, season's best this year. That's his personal best, but we'll see. He's also not very consistent though, from what I saw. So we'll see, but he has some untapped potential. Malachi Austin, I'm not sure if he's running. Yes. Oh, he's from Guyana. Yes. I was going to say, I didn't know who was a reserve. Malachi Austin from Guyana. He's someone who also you can't sleep on. He actually has been running for LSU this year, and he's been consistent, sub 40 or consistent 45s, but not 44. So we'll see what's up with Malachi. But the other one I think is Leadenhart, right? Leanhurt, Kokemore. Let me get that pronunciation correct. Kokemore. So he's a big find for South Africa. And I know, Lloyd, you've of course been shouting him out, right? Like definitely been shouting him out, not only now, but like in previous times as well. So this is going to be a big moment for him. He's run 44.9 this year, but he's also run 45.1, which makes him a little more impressive to me than some of the other athletes. Coke and Moore. Coke and Moore. Okay. I'm gonna try and get that right because I'm gonna do recaps of these, so I'm gonna practice. But he's run 44.9, but then also 45.1. I actually like that consistency a little bit better than some others who have run like 44.8 and then you drop back to 45, 3 or 45.4, right? So he's someone to definitely keep a lookout for. He has a lot of potential. But like I said, with all these athletes, they could have big drops. There's going to be Eugene. Apparently, the weather is going to be great. So this is literally, I mean, you can't get a faster track than this for World U20s. Sure, you can go to like the Tokyo track or something, right? Like, but in Eugene, come on, yeah. Come on, yeah. So this is going to be good. So yeah, that is for the most part the U20s. Shout out to let me see. I'll just bring up very quickly. Shout out to some of the other athletes like in the 110 hurdles. You have Brown, you have Zacchaeus Brock, you have Lloyd, you have Jeremy. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't even want to like try and like dance around. I'm not super familiar with U20 when it comes to hurdles because I'm just not as tapped in. I'm definitely gonna do a recap though of everything. So I'll definitely circle back. But shout out to I don't know if this is gonna work. 100-meter hurdles. Does this work? Oh, I can't find it. Let's see. Okay, I just want to go. Let me see if I could just go to this real quick. Let's see. The relays. I think I just wanted to give a quick shout out. Yeah, shout out to Madeline Cooper, to Ramokba, and then Sanchez. So we'll see. Yeah, Naeem Jack. I was looking. I couldn't see. And shout out to Tiana Marshall. I was looking. I was like, wait, Jack should be running, but is what it is. I'll touch upon the relays real quick, and afterwards I'll try and find where we can stream. And then I'm gonna move into the European champs. And shout out to everyone in the field. Again, I'm gonna do a full recap. So I know I'm missing people on the preview, but listen, we definitely gonna give everyone their just due. 4x1. I mean, you're looking at Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago probably has a good team. Australia, I guess, and this is for women's 4x1. Maybe Australia will put something together, but I think United States, Jamaica are probably like the two teams that obviously everyone will have their eye on, and then we'll see, how the rest of everyone else kind of just play out. Similar in the 4x4, I think this is going to be this is women's 4x4. United States might have a very, very big lead. Actually, let me be clear. In the women's 4x1, I think the United States is going to have a very big leg up. The thing is, when you're looking at the depth, now Jamaica is going to be good, right? You have, you're going to have Shanoya Douglas, but then you're also going to have, let me see, my bad. Let me get the name right. Terry Long, right? Terry Long is in there. So we'll see. But I think for the most part, United States is going to hold things, probably going to be the favorites, similar in the 4x4s. And then in the same thing for the, actually, I don't even know if it's going to work. I think it holds true for the. Does this work? There we go. This holds true for the. Let's see. Wait. Okay, this holds true for the men's 4x4 as well. Though Great Britain probably will be able to put together a good team, but the United States, where are they at? Yeah, United States. I guess they don't even have. Oh yeah, they don't have like a good time because high schools run all mixed and stuff. But United States in the men's 4x4. And 4x1, like I think they're probably going to be the best for the most part in terms of the depth. But we'll see. But yeah, shout out to all the U20 athletes. And we'll move over to Europeans in a second. Thanks, Darren. So streaming of World U20s is worldwide for free. World Athletics Inside Track, and then in the United States, NBC Peacock is going to be there. So it's actually good. So if you're outside of the United States, you can watch it primarily for free. I'm assuming most countries. I don't know like what the UK or whatever. So we'll see. But World Athletics, they'll have it on deck there. And then if you're in the United States, you can watch it on NBC and Peacock, which is good. So I appreciate they're making it pretty accessible, which is dope. Hopefully, again, if you're around the world, right, jump over to World Athletics. So do your thing there. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the European In the UK, it's for free. Okay, good. So that is good. All right. So let's talk about European champs, and here we're gonna go through. We're gonna try and roll through. I know we're at an hour, so we're gonna try and roll through everything. Oh yes, okay. So for Europeans, okay. So in Africa, check Supersport World Athletics. Wait, in Africa, check Supersport World Athletics is blocked by Supersport. So that's for World U20. So that's in terms of watching. And also, what I'll do afterwards is I'll try and find where to watch, and then I'll put them in the description of this video afterwards, or I'll maybe post it on I'll do like a community post or something. So we'll see what's up there. Because it is tricky, but yeah, Eurovision sport for European countries. So that's good too. Okay, okay. So we got some. At least we got some good visibility. Um, for Canada, you can use CBC Gem. Um, so yeah, we're gonna see. Okay. Oh yeah, Peacock. I know. Peacock is tricky. It's tricky, but you know, maybe you could do World Athletics. You could see. Yes, we'll talk about the 800 with European champs. So let me just bring up. Let me put this up on the screen here. Let me see. Um, hold up. 106. Okay. Yes, we'll talk about the. Um, we'll talk about the 800s. Hold up. Where is? I'm gonna bring this up on the screen here. Give me 1 second. And we're gonna roll through the sprints and all that first, but yeah. All right, so European Championships. This is gonna be going down from the 10th to the 16th of August. So this is gonna be starting this coming weekend, and then it's gonna go for just about a week. So it's gonna be big. I'm excited. I'm excited for European champs. So we're gonna go through just the different entries again. Let's see, does this one? No, it doesn't zoom properly, unfortunately, but we're going to roll with this. So we'll roll through some of the different events, and then we'll just dive in and talk about some stuff. So let me actually start with the 100 meters. Right? Does this work? No. Let's see. I'm going to start with the women. Okay. So first off, in the women's 100 meters, so this is going to be I think this is going to be a pretty good race, all things considered. You're going to have Amy Hunt. You're going to have Iwa Swoboda. You're going to have Geraldine from Germany, if I'm correct. Oh, no, from Switzerland. Sorry. She just went sub 11 seconds in the 100 meters. They are going to be the women to really look out for when it comes to 100. And actually, let me do this so I can just cross-check and make it smooth, because I want to like look at just the top list for European champs or for Europeans in 2026. Just to get an idea of how things are mapped out. Oh no, for Europeans, my bad. So yeah, so we're looking at these three women for the most part are like the top ones, primarily because they've gone under the 11-second barrier. But you do have a few other women. So shout out to Carolina, who's just on the cusp of breaking the 11-second barrier. She's run 11:01, right? So I like the competition that we'll have in the women's 100. You have Patricia Van der Weeken, right? You have Imani Lansiquat, who's like kind of returning from injury over the past couple years, right? You have Pinto, you have Rebecca Haas, Zainab Doso, so Christiana Williams. So good point that Christiana Williams. So Christiana Williams, if y'all remember, she competed for Jamaica. She actually made the final at the Olympic Games for Jamaica in 2016. That was Elaine Thompson-Herah, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, and then Christiana Williams was the third Jamaican on that team. Now, since then, she left from. Okay, I might have to search this up. I'm not gonna do it now, but like, I feel like I've heard that she married someone from what country is this? This is from Austria. I think I heard that she did, but I'm not 100% sure. But remember, she hasn't competed in years, and from my understanding, she lives in Austria. Like, she's transferred, but she hasn't competed in years until I think her transfer just finished up this year. Okay, she did. Yeah, so she married someone from Austria. So it's like, she got and again, she hasn't competed in years. And I think her transfer just went through this year, or last year, whatever it may be, right? So yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, she was in that final for Jamaica 2016. But I'm excited for this women's 100. I think a couple things to just note. Amy Hunt, I think she might have some of the momentum in the 100 meters for in Europe right now, because she's run sub 11. Well, Iwasaboda and Amy Hunt have run sub 11 multiple times this year. I think Iwasaboda has done it twice, and um, yeah, Amy Hunt has done it twice. Iwasaboda has done it twice. Oh, actually, Geraldine has done it twice as well. Okay, so that makes it tricky. That makes it tricky because Geraldine is now getting more consistent. So we'll see. Okay, now see, I'm learning all this. Dean Asher Smith, okay, she's doing the 100. See, this is the problem because she hasn't run as well this year in the 100, right? I think her best this year is 11, yeah, 11.13. That might have been at Prefontaine. So the 100 does get interesting. It gets very interesting when you add all these names into the list. What does Zainab Doso look like? What does Patricia Vanderweeken look like, right? Though that's like the questions that I have. Those are the questions that I have. We'll see. Oh yes, and my bad. Christina Williams, she did bobsled as well. I forgot that she was doing bobsled. Good point. Um, so a very, very competitive women's 100. Definitely, I'm gonna be honest. I think Amy Hunt might have a slight bit of momentum, and considering she ran that 10.98 or whatever it was at the Commonwealth Games in pouring rain, that was a very good performance. So, but I do think a lot of these women, you look at someone like Zainab Doso or Patricia Vanderweeken, they didn't have to go to Commonwealth Games. They've been focused on European champs, and this is their big meet, right? Like same thing for Geraldine, same thing for Iwa Sobota. So we'll see. Who knows what Dean Asher Smith might pop up and do, right? Like it's gonna be competitive. It's gonna be very competitive. So we'll see. We'll see. But yes, I do. I think if I was to pick, I might slightly lean towards Amy Hunt, but it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy. So that does kind of carry over into the my bad, hold on one second. That does kind of carry over into the women's 200 though, because now you have yeah, the women's 200. Now you have a whole host of other women who are also going to be, this maybe isn't as deep, but it gets pretty competitive pretty quick, right? So here you have Dean Asher Smith, who probably is in a better, is maybe better suited here than in the 100 because the field isn't as deep. Amy Hunt, though, obviously is on fire. Shout out to Success. Obviously, she beat Amy Hunt at the British Championships, but Success isn't. Unfortunately, since then she hasn't showcased like, all right, nah, I'm ready to be in this competition between the London Diamond League, Commonwealth Games. Like, it's been a little mixed, but I'm interested in Amy Hunt versus Dean Asher Smith. This is the race that I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm hoping that Dina does the double. I'm hoping that she does, but we'll see. Now, I think two storylines. And shout out to let me actually just pull this up. And my bad. I know with the record, no one is touching this 100-meter record. Let's be completely clear. No one is touching this 100-meter record. 10.73, Christine Aron, all the way back in 1998. Like, no one is touching this. Like, no one. So we'll see. But with the 200, let me just pull this up. I think I'm looking at kind of like three storylines to a degree. With the 200, you have Dean Asher Smith, you have who's almost like coming back in a sense and like really trying to get her footing. Amy Hunt, who got a medal last year, and then also is like trying to like maintain her status as like maybe the best European 200 sprinter right now. Can she beat out Dean Asher Smith here like she's done last year? Success. Now, after that, I think this is where you have the third conversation of like everyone else. Shout out to Success. Shout out to Hoenke, Fabian. I don't. Henriette Yeager is not running here. You have Gel Bastu. So like everyone else, but Dean Asher Smith, Amy Hunt, those are like, this is the thing, right? Yeah, no one is touching this 200 record. 21.71 by Heike Dressler. Yeah, like no one is touching this. Like, nah, because what Dina's personal best is 21.8. So yeah, but who knows? I will say again, can Amy Hunt take Dean Asher Smith down? Can either of them get under the 22-second barrier? Right? Can either of them do that? Amy Hunt has never done it in her career. Dean Asher Smith hasn't done it since 2022. If I'm correct, I don't remember the last time Dina ran sub 22 seconds. I could be wrong. It could have been more recent than that, but no. Yeah, 2022 when she got the bronze medal at the World Champs. Yeah, that was the last time Dean Smith ran sub 22. So yeah, are they installing a new mono track, right? Like maybe the jumpers will get that platform that they did in 2024 where they went crazy. I don't know. Mm. But I don't know. I don't think they're getting a new mono track, but it's Birmingham. Like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. Dean Smith, Amy Hunt. I think Amy Hunt actually is probably the favorite here, but like but Dean Smith has been she's had some momentum, so we'll see. But we'll see. Can either of them get under the 22-second barrier? Who will actually get the win? And can anyone else actually kind of like surprise them? Shout out to Jemima Joseph. She's actually someone who she actually trains with. Jemima Joseph trains with what's his name? Boogie Johnson out in Arkansas with like Dylan Muhammad, Anna Cockrell, and all them. So she's getting onto my radar now, really only because I saw that she trains with them now. But I gotta see. But you have Giles. She actually has a lot of untapped potential. So we'll see. I think Adaeja is in here. Adaeja is a question mark for me, right? Like she's a question mark. She ran 22.8 to win the Irish Championships. I just don't know, man. Like I don't know. And this was just like a couple weeks ago. It's just she's still coming back from injury. Rashida Adaeja is still coming back from injury, so it's like she's not in the form to actually like be competitive at the top. She should be one of the best 200 sprinters, but like I really hope that she gets healthy and is able to get back in the mix, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm just hoping Dina and Amy go sub 22. They definitely have it in them. Yeah, I do think. It's possible. I can say the weather for Birmingham is looking good throughout next week, so good times. Hey, yeah, I ain't mad at that. I love surprises, so hope someone spoils. Ooh. Amy been talking that talk. Here's her chance to be. Here's her chance to be the Melissa Jefferson Wooden of Euros 3P. Can she? Can she? It'd be great to see Amy and Dina run sub 22. Yeah, it would. It would. Adaeja could make the final, but I can't see her medaling. Yeah, like I can't. Even with, I think for the most part, Dean Smith, Amy Hunt are pretty solid for like obviously the top two. Anything can happen, but like I think they're pretty solid if we were to pick medalists in any capacity. I would actually think Fabian has been doing pretty well. You look at Crystal. I think she has the third fastest time in Europe this year. Or no, Success, Fabian. Oh, Crystal is 6th. So like that's the thing. And then you have to, oh my bad, hold up. You have to go all the way down for you have to go all the way down for Rashida. Like, yeah, she ran into a headwind, but I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Does Great Britain sweep the 200? I don't know. Success though, I guess I just wasn't as impressed with Success. I wasn't. She just hasn't looked as great after her win at British champs. So I don't know. I really want Success to do very well, but I think there's a big drop off after Dean Smith and Amy Hunt. I really just think there's a big drop off. I don't know. Oh, Adaeja. No, don't say that. Adaeja is like a thing, no passion whatsoever. I think Adaeja has just been dealing with injuries. Like she literally has just been dealing with injuries, which sucks. So we'll see. Yeah, don't sleep on Amy. She's on a tear. I'm mad at it. I am mad with it. So yeah, and this is the thing. I wasn't impressed with Success with her run at the both at the London Diamond League. Granted, she was in lane 1, I think, and then at the Commonwealth Games. Like, and obviously I can't expect her to like always be on fire, but like I don't know. It's when you're dealing with Amy Hunt, who has shown like when you're dealing with Amy Hunt, when you're dealing with Dean Smith, that's a different level. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm not sure. I think Success has a very strong future, but for right now, when we're talking about this coming weekend, I'm not saying I'm not sure she's ahead of like Jalil Bestu or like Fabian or like Crystal. Like I don't know. Even though she has a faster time, right? Success has that faster time, but the others, especially someone like Giles, she's like more consistent over the past couple of years. So we'll see. And I agree. I think she might, Jalil Bestu might actually surprise. So we'll see. But women's 200. Let's move over to the women's 400, and then we'll circle back to the men's man, the 400 is crazy. We'll circle back to the men's sprints afterwards. We'll just stick with the women. Listen, this is the race that we have been looking forward to. Like, this is, at least I've been looking forward to. Like, this is the race. Henriette Jaeger, you have Ludaris Manuel, you have Leaky Klaver, who's been, like, she's stepped up big time, right? She ran a personal best, right, this year. You have Yemi Mary John, you have Natalia Bukowiecka, you have Charlene, man, from Ireland, right? Like, she's been crazy. Amber Anning, though I'm so questionable about Amber Anning. Obviously, she won British champs. She pulled out of Commonwealth Games. She's not running Europeans. She hasn't been running this well this year. But listen, man, this 400, this is one of the best races, or on paper, it's one of the best races for this year. Yes, the Diamond Leagues have been faster, where you're going to see Paulino running 48s and stuff like that, right? You're not going to have Adaeja Oakley or Leah Butler. But, like, listen, man, this is stacked. This is one of the most stacked races all year. Now, Henriette Jaeger, and I'm just going to pull up the times, because we've seen these women go crazy. Henriette has been on fire this year. And actually, let me just get all the marks, because this is what I think. Henriette Jaeger has been on fire, right? She's run 49.15. That was in that race where I think Paulino and Aaliyah Butler went 48 seconds. She's run 49.15. She also ran 49.52 and 49.60. And I think in both of these races, I know at Rome, she beat out, in both of these races, she beat out Manuel. But then Manuel, when was these? This was in Paris and in Monaco. So Manuel has also run 49.3 and 49.4. I honestly think that Manuel has this is what I'll say. I think, and so will Jaeger break 49 seconds? And I'll come back. Before this, championship record, 48.16. All due respect, no one is touching it. Like, no one's touching it. But it might take sub 49.5 to make the podium. So, Henriette is most likely wing it. Manuel will be second. Where are the Polish ladies? So this is what I'll say. Will Jaeger break 49 seconds at Euros? It would not shock me if 3 women, 3 is a stretch. I think both of them. So on baseline, I think both Jaeger and Manuel can run sub 49 seconds. Because again, Henriette Jaeger just ran 49.15. But I feel like Manuel she's on the cusp. And I think she's due for a big breakout. Like, these athletes have been preparing for this meet, right? This is what they've really been looking forward to competing at. So I think they are trending towards a big, big performance. Now, questions on the track and this, that, whatever. All that said, like, I'm just like assessing their performances as it stands. I think Jaeger and Manuel can very likely go under 49 seconds. Now, the reason I said 3 is because I was thinking about Natalia. Obviously, she's run sub 49 seconds, 3 times in her career, all throughout 2024. But the problem is, I think it's a little bit more of a stretch, because she's run 50.02 this year. And she is, actually, this is what I'll say. If I was to pick a top 3, I'm going to pick a top 3. I would say Henriette Jaeger, Manuel, and then I would say Natalia Bukowiecka. I would say that would be my top 3. Because, and I forgot earlier this year, and multiple of y'all checked it, because it was like, Natalia knows how to peak, right? I think, but yes, and this is what I said, right? Like, she hasn't looked as good this year, but she knows how to peak. And I think we were comparing her at some point to that's funny. The Euros version of Sydney versus Paulino. Yeah, but just subtract 1 full second and you get this, 1 second plus. But Natalia knows how to peak, right? Like, that's the thing. And we were comparing it to Leaky Klaver, who really doesn't do well at championships, like even at like European championships. But Natalia knows how to show up. Like, Natalia last year wasn't doing amazing leading up to World Champs, and then she made the final and finished 4th place. Now, she was almost a full second behind, what was it, Nasser in 3rd, but like, just that context. She won the gold medal in 2024 at the European Champs, running sub 48 49 seconds, right? So Natalia knows how to peak, and she, I think, and I'm just going to bring it up because she's been decently trending in the right direction, um, from what I think. Yeah. Oh, actually, yes. Oh, so listen, Natalia is looking very good. Let's be honest. This is Natalia Bukowiecka. So she's actually been very consistent. 50.12, 50.34, 50.10, 50.81. This was at Paris. I don't know what happened in Paris. But then she got back to 50.10. And then at her national championships in Poland, 52.1 is just the heats, and then 50.02. I don't know, man. Like, Natalia knows how to show up at championships. Now, I'm not picking her ahead of Henriette Jaeger or Manuel, but I think I'm leaning more towards her for the bronze medal than Leaky Klaver. Now, Leaky Klaver, she just ran 49.5 this year, personal best. Kind of a surprise for her, but she hasn't done as well at championships, right? Like, and I'm just going to bring Leaky Klaver up as well. And then I'm gonna get to some of the other women as well. But when you look at Leaky Klaver at championships, she's a little more mixed when she's having a good season. 2022 was probably her best year, or not her best year, but like she finished 4th place at the World Championships. That was like really good. 2023, she was having an amazing year, and she only ran 50.3 and finished 6th place at the World Champs. She should have arguably been on the podium or closer to the podium. At European Champs, Leaky Klaver, 2024, she got bronze in 50.08, and she was a full second behind. Natalia ran 48, and then Rashida ran 49 low, like 49.0. And then in 2022, like, she ran 50.56. So I don't know, man. Like, I'm just not as confident about Leaky Klaver and her championship performances versus Natalia. So then you look at the others. I'm going to say this. Amber Anning, I unfortunately don't have much confidence in right now. I have to see what she looks like through the rounds, or, well, I guess through the rounds or whatever to get to the final, because she just has been questionable. She's pulled out of meets, so I'm just TBD on her. So, but shout out to Amber Anning. Yemi Mary John, though, I also have questions. She ran 49 seconds earlier this year on the circuit. But she hasn't been consistent enough, right? Like, she hasn't looked good enough to be like, okay, nah, like she's definitely like in contention. I think she'll be in the final and, mix things up, but I don't know, because when you look at, what she did after this 49.8, she's been pretty mixed for the most part. And even at Commonwealth Games, she got 6th place at Commonwealth Games, running 51.6. Like, she has 50.2. She got 2nd place at British Champs, right? She got, let me see, my bad. 2nd place at British Champs in 50.3. So I don't know. The 49.8 is kind of the outlier, all things considered. So we'll see. And then also shout out to Anna Polinari, and then Charlotte Henrich. I think and Charlene Maudsley, she's been having some injuries. Maudsley's injuries, and apologies, Maudsley. Her injuries might prevent her personal best. However, all the sprints and the hurdles events will have buys for the top 12 athletes in the continent, so we'll see how she does from the semis. Yeah, so that's not too bad. Sadly, I don't think the British women are medaling in the 400. Amber is probably dealing with injuries. Yeah, exactly. Very, very true. 2023, Klaver went out too fast. Yeah, that's so true. At the World Champs, she went out way too fast. Klaver is either good or bad, no in between, which is crazy. So yeah, I don't know. Klaver is hot and cold, and yeah, that's a problem. I feel like Klaver has like some of the most potential, but like just not. I don't know. She just hasn't. It's just too inconsistent. Yeah, I'm hoping they surprise us to get 2 medals for Great Britain, but it might not be the case, sadly. I think this is my order as well. Jaeger, Manuel, and Kaczmarek, Natalia Bukowiecka. So I think that's my order, but I will say I don't think Jaeger is like drastically ahead of Manuel. I don't think that's the case. I think Manuel is I think she might do something special. I also think Jaeger might do something special, but like I think it's gonna be a good race. Good race. Like, well, man, we'll see, we'll see. But all that said, let's roll through. I'll come back to the 800 after. I'm just going to quickly highlight the hurdles. Let's see. I'll come back to the 800 at the end. Um, I just want to give a shout out to the 100 hurdles. Nothing too crazy, man. They put it so far. Okay, so nothing too crazy. You do have Nadine Visser. You have Pia Skrzydlowska. Those two are like always in the mix. And then you have a couple other women who are always like holding things down as well. Let me actually bring up just to highlight just the top women in the hurdles. But overall, shout out to the women's 100-meter hurdles. I'm not going to spend too much time. I'm going to roll through because I'm realizing I'm already an hour, 30 minutes in. Nadine Visser, Pia Skrzydlowska. You have Serena. She pulled out of Europeans. You have Sasha, who's going to be in here. But it's really Nadine versus Pia. That's going to be what we're looking at for the most part. After that, 400 hurdles. This is all about Emma Zaplatilova. Like, this is like straight up. Oh, my bad. Yes, that I think is a problem because she hasn't done as well this year. Adaeja Kambunji. My bad. I apologize, y'all. I apologize. World champion, obviously. I think it's because I completely forgot that she just hasn't been doing this well this year, right? She just hasn't shown the form that she did last year. So I completely forgot, that she's of course been in the mix. So, but shout out to Adaeja Kambunji. But I think this is Nadine Visser versus Pia Skrzydlowska. Nadine probably is a favorite, but she's been a little more mixed. Pia Skrzydlowska also it's mixed, like, but I think Nadine Visser is probably the favorite here for the most part. I don't think that I don't think the championship record 12:31 is going down. Samba Mayala from 2024, but like it wouldn't be a surprise. It wouldn't be a surprise. And I guess this is fair. Yeah, you can never count out Kambunji in a championship. They stay digging and figure. It's true. It's true. It's just that she has been like way farther out of her game this year. Yeah, she's been like very, very cold. Very, very cold. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so women's 400 hurdles. This is all Emma Zaplatilova. Now, I mean, this is like her race to lose. I do think, and I'm just gonna pull up her what she's done this year because I don't remember the last time she raced. I know she pulled out of one meet this year, but just for context, Emma has been on fire. 52, 52.3, 52.5, 52.8. Like this is all intents and purposes like a quote unquote joke in the sense that no one is close. You literally have 53.9 by Pauline as a next best athlete. A full it's crazy. A full second and a half, bigger gap than a second and a half, right? Behind Emma's best time. Like, it's crazy. But with Emma though, let me just pull up because I'm just trying to cross check the last time. Okay, she ran at the Slovak Championships. The thing was, she ran this 55.8 in Zagreb, and so I was a little like confused. I have no idea what happened. But obviously she ran 53.7 in Slovakia, so I guess she's good. She's back for the most part. But I hope she's good. I just hope she's good and she's healthy. 22.6 actually is crazy. That the fact that she ran this in the 200 is kind of wild. So she should be good. So, but yeah, I mean, clear favorite, not even close. Thanks for jumping in. Dwayne, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. But yes, Emma is the favorite. It's like not even close. So this is an interesting one. 52.4 championship record by Femke Bol in the 400 hurdles. That's the question. Can Emma Zaplatilova, apologies, can she actually take that down? She's run 52.3 this year, 52.5. So clearly she is capable of taking it down. But I'm just wondering with the recent form, this 55.8 was such an outlier finishing down the pack in Zagreb, but it looks like she's back in form. And she's been able to run these races solo, quote unquote, right? 52.3 was a solo race. So she's going to be in the mix there. But shout out to the women's 400 hurdles. After that, and my bad, let me just close some of this out because I don't want this to be rolling because it's gonna take some of my. Okay, so we'll keep that. So let's move up to. I'm gonna move up to the men's 100 here. So let's move up to the men's 100. All right, men's 100 meters. So my bad. Okay, so men's 100 meters. I think this is gonna be very interesting. Very interesting when it comes to the men's 100 meters. Um, we have a lot of athletes, who are going to be in the mix. A lot of guys who are going to be like really kind of like chalking things up. Obviously, Lamont Marcell Jacobs, he's going to be right in the mix. You have Rommel Glaive. He has been pretty, all things considered, pretty consistent this year, right? You have Owen Nash, who just broke 11 seconds this year, representing Germany, my bad, representing Germany. You have Jeremiah Azu, didn't do well at Commonwealth Games, but he's someone you can never count out. Louis Hinchcliffe, he skipped out on Commonwealth Games and is focused here. You have Guzman, you have Afrifa, you have Tamar Burnett, right? Like you have a couple different guys. I'm also just checking. You have from Italy, you have Ali. Yeah, okay. So Zarno Hughes, I think he's only doing the 200. So this men's 100 is going to be pretty interesting, right? I wonder if Lamont Marcell Jacobs, he ran, and actually let me just bring up the men's 100 just in terms of the times and all that stuff. Lamont Marcell Jacobs is the defending 100-meter champion, right? Defending champion from 2024 and 2022. I think he won back-to-back titles. So he's going for his third consecutive European gold medal. And this has been his pure focus for the year. Now, his best this year is 9.96. He also ran, 9.99? Yeah, my bad. I have it on the screen. He ran 9.99, and he ran that windy 9.67. Now, after that 9.67, he did, I guess he picked up some, I don't know if it was cramps or just he pulled out of, certain meets for precautionary reasons. But since then, he did run at the Italian champs, if I'm correct, and he ran, he didn't break 10 seconds, but he ran 10.12 into a slight headwind. This actually tells me that he's essentially in good form. He's back to good form. Like this 9.8 and 9.6, like the windy marks, probably took some out of him, but 2-3 weeks later, he's back in 10.2 into a slight headwind. 10.12 into a slight headwind. I think that Marcell Jacobs is the favorite. He's definitely the favorite, right? Like he's definitely the favorite. He's going for the three-peat. But I do think that Rommel Glaive is someone that we can't count out. I would not count out Rommel Glaive here. And yes, immediately between Jacobs and Glaive. Rommel Glaive has been pretty consistent this year. 9.97 into a slight headwind. 9.98. And he has a bunch of windy, sub 10 performances, right? He ran a windy 9.8. I think in this race that Marcell ran the 9.6s, right? He ran 9.8. Like Rommel Glaive is having a very good year. But can he do it when it counts? We know that Marcell Jacobs, he can do it. Like I actually will venture to say that Marcell is a pretty big favorite here. Not like a massive, massive favorite, but his experience plays a part here over Rommel Glaive. It really does. So we'll see. But I do like Rommel Glaive. And then you have, a couple other guys, right? Owen with his sub 10 performance, I think at German champs, and he ran 10 flat as well, right? Jeremiah Azu is someone who I think should be in the conversation. Louis Hinchcliffe should be in the conversation. It'll be mixed, but we'll see. But yeah, I think Lamont Marcell Jacobs, Rommel Glaive, those are the two guys we're looking at. And then championship record 9.95. I think this record should go down, but I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't go down. Like I'm on the edge on if that record will actually go down. It's a little mixed. I'll say that if let's say Jacobs actually runs, well, I was gonna say if Jacob runs like 9.8, that would be big, because then that means, okay, going towards like World Ultimate Champs, he's gonna be a problem. Like he's back in a sense. Rommel Glaive, though, obviously he's run those slightly windy, he ran like barely windy 9.89 or something like that. So he can also, and he's run 9.97 here. So he can do some damage. So we'll see. we'll see. I think the record is in jeopardy for sure. Um, oh, is is Glaive the one with bad luck at the championships, or is it the other guy, the lawyer with the hyphen? Oh, Eugene Amo Diadze. I think it's Eugene who has the bad luck because I don't even remember Ramel Glaive at the last championships. I don't remember, but I think it's Eugene who hasn't done well. If I'm remembering. Excuse me. Jeremiah Zoo is consistently in 10 flats, or 10 O's, something to give. He has to break through at some point. Kennedy did it. He should be able to do it as well. Maybe. I think Jeremiah Zoo will be fourth. Maybe I want to see Jeremiah Zoo break through, but we'll see. It'll be tough. We'll talk about the 800 in a second. The women, or after the men's stuff. Yeah, 995 still being the record in 2026 is crazy. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like Europeans though. Like all time in European, I guess Zarnell. Well, I don't know. I guess all time in European history though. Well, actually, yeah, Linford Christie. Why did he not run? He should have run much faster. No, I don't know. I guess yeah. I'm thinking through it historically. There should have been guys who ran faster at championships. Um, let's see. Um, okay. Yeah, European times are just slower all the way. So yeah, we'll see. But shout out to the men's 100. We'll see how that actually does pan out. Men's 200 though. This also is a pretty. Actually, hold up. Let me get this right for the 200. So 200 is decent. 200 is decent. It's not very, my bad. It's not super deep, but yeah, this is a more mixed field, I'll say. 200 is decent, all things considered. Zarnell Hughes, on paper, is not on paper, but he is the favorite here. Desalu from Italy, he's been a mainstay for the past couple of years. You have Owen Anash, he's coming back from the 100. And let me just pull up the men's 200 in terms of like the top marks this year. The thing that I'm a little mixed on is that Zarnell Hughes didn't do well. He didn't even make the final at Commonwealth Games, even though he ran well at the what do you call it? He ran well at the British Champs. He ran this 2004 into a slight headwind. Yeah, good point. Just around conditions, maybe weather conditions in Europeans have prevented fast times. So I don't know. I'm a little mixed on this men's 200, but I do like the competition because it is very close, right? So again, you have Zarnell Hughes, you have Desalu, you have Owen, right? You have Snyders. Like these guys are all in the mix. Benjamin Richardson, he's transferring back to Ireland. So he's not yeah, oh yeah, exactly. Till Benjamin Richardson is eligible, Zarnell Hughes is gonna have no. Okay. You say Hughes won't be challenged in the 200 till Benjamin Richardson is eligible. I don't know, man. We'll see. I think he got cramps at Commonwealth Games. Okay, fair. I guess I didn't. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know that Zarnell Hughes got cramps at Commonwealth Games, so that's fair. If that's the case, then yeah, Zarnell Hughes is the favorite. Like he should be the clear favorite here. If that's not the case, then it does get a little more competitive. But it looks to be Zarnell Hughes versus the rest of the field for the most part. And shout out to everyone else. Obviously, I think in some previous years, Nathaniel Mitchell Blake would have been like the guy who we're definitely talking about. He's always still been a mainstay on the relays, but this is going to be about Zarnell Hughes for the most part. Okay, they said that Zarnell Hughes was limping. That's a question. That's interesting. I don't know. 200 record, 1976, not getting touched. Like, it's just not getting touched. Yeah, it's just not getting touched. All due respect, like it's not, because we know that Zarnell is just not in that form, so it is what it is. Benjamin Richardson is not running. Yeah, he's not eligible because he competed for South Africa. He has to wait the transfer of allegiance time period, so until he can transfer to Ireland. Yeah, Guliev was literally in the form of his life when he did that. Like coming off his gold medal in 2017. Then he went to Euros in 2018, just went crazy. Like, it's wild. So, shout out to the men's 200. Men's 400, this actually decent field, but I mean, this is Matthew Hudson-Smith. This is his race to lose. All things considered, this is definitely his race to lose. Matthew Hudson-Smith, actually, I'm gonna just pull this up because I want to make sure I get like who's run certain times correctly here. So Matthew Hudson-Smith, he owns everything right now when talking about the 400. Like everything right now when talking about the 400 in Europe. 44.09 all the way to 44.45. And then you have Samuel Vessat, who's run 44.47, for France. You have Molnar, who's been very consistent. You have Kunta, Jeffries, Dobson. But like this is all about Mathias Smith. All about Mathias Smith. And then that's a good point where Molnar is very consistent. Like he's very, very consistent. 44.7, 44.5, 44.5. Like when you look at Vessat, yeah, he's run his 1:44.47. His next best time, you got to go down to 44.8, right? And Molnar, he's been very consistent indoors and outdoors. So, it's going to be hard to say that Matthew is like definitely the class of the field, and then you get to Molnar, and then you get to kind of like everyone else. Yeah, Alexander Doom hasn't done well since 2024. He's dealt with injuries though. That's been the case from my understanding. That's been from my understanding. Like he's just been dealing with various injuries over the past couple years. So that's why Alexander Doom hasn't done well since 2024. Let me see. Charles Dobson is a major wild card. I'm always anxious when he's on the start list. Yeah, but he also this year has been a little more mixed, right? He's run 44.69 and 44.86. So he has a couple 44s, but like obviously what he did in 2024 was crazy. In Charlie Dobson, what he did in 2024 was crazy, but I don't know. I'm a little more questionable. And shout out to Kunta as well. He's someone who could be in the conversation as well. Molnar, sleeper pick for gold, sleeper for sure. Because Hudson Smith, he's been looking good this year, even in some mixed races, but he only hasn't looked good against other guys, right? Like the rest of the world. Against Europeans, it's all right. It's just like I don't know, man. Like, yeah, he's been holding things down. Yeah, haven't seen much of Dobson this season. Hudson Smith, Molinar, and I keep saying Molnar, if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. I know the accent, makes the pronunciation interesting, but like, yeah, Molinar, if I'm get that pronunciation right. But yeah, championship record. This in theory should go down. Yeah, 44.15 by Alexander Doom back in 2024. This should go down. Obviously, yeah, Matthew Hudson Smith, he's been a leading man in the 400. He could run sub 44 easily. Vessat could surprise and run sub 44. I think, I don't know this. Oh, my bad. Vessat has run 44 too. My bad. I skipped over that. He could surprise, yeah. I don't know, but I like Molnar's consistency just a little bit more. And I apologize. Someone said it earlier. He's been on the Diamond League circuit. Oh, yeah. He's been on the Diamond League circuit just like, yeah, okay. So he's been on the Diamond League circuit, and he's been prepping for World Ultimate Championships in Budapest. That's a interesting point. Let me see. Let's see what road. I don't know what his standing is right now for Road to World Ultimate Champs. Let's see. So, okay, he's in the mix. He's 12th. So what's interesting then is because he's close to like, not close to getting kicked out, but like you can imagine Samuel Ghazi slipping ahead of him. You can imagine, maybe not Rasheed McDonald. Well, okay, this is a good scenario. Vernon Norwood definitely has a potential to like, slip ahead. Kunta is in this race here, at Europeans, along with Molnar. So if Kunta does well, he's going to get a lot of points and could slip ahead. You know what I'm saying? So that maybe plays into how Molnar is looking at things. But yeah, I imagine World Ultimate Champs is like his ultimate goal, but he has to make sure he maintains his spot. He got to make sure he maintains his spot because once you have what? 1, 2, 3, 4 more Diamond Leagues, right? Lausanne, Silesia, Zurich, Brussels. I don't know how many 400 meters are left, but like you're looking at guys like someone like Vernon Norwood is going to be at every single Diamond League for the rest of the season, and he's going to be trying to get into this the top 16. But I think Molnar is probably safe. And you look at someone like, No, Quincy Hall is already qualified. Yeah, everyone else is gonna be there, so no one's gonna drop out. So yeah, okay. So we'll see. Um, but yeah, we'll see. I'm excited for this 400. I'm excited for this 400. We'll see what's up at Europeans. After that, men's 110-meter hurdles. Let's go ahead and get to the men's 110 hurdles. This one is pretty decent for the most part as well. Not super deep, but we do have a couple guys who are going to be in the mix here. So you have Just Qual Matthew. He's been a mainstay for the past couple of years. He's of course going to be in the mix for the most part to really, I don't know, see what he can do. But then you have Jason Joseph. He of course has also been a mainstay for the most part for the better part of the past couple of years. He's of course going to be right in the mix. You have Enzo Diesel. Apologies, getting the pronunciations. You have Bakari, you have Pedre, you have Martinez. You have Jakub Szymanski, who's in the mix here. You have Samuel Bennett, Enrique Lopez. So you have some like mainstays, and then you have like some newer guys. You have Martinez, who's I can never forget about, right? So this is actually a pretty good quality 110 hurdles. Just to bring up the times that these guys have run this year. Oh yeah, wait, did I? No, wait, is he not running? No wonder I was like, Michael is not. Did he not enter? I wonder if am I just like going crazy? Let's see. No, he's not in this field. I wonder what may have happened to him. Because he's obviously been that makes sense. I completely forgot. He's been dominating this year. And that's Michael from Belgium. He's been going crazy. I know. Obasui, if I'm getting it correct, man. I can't get these things correct. Yes, from Igbo. I don't even know if maybe he just like skipped out. Oh, injuries. He's injured. And yes, I'm forgetting all these names. So Simonelli, he's withdrawn. And then I guess Michael's withdrawn as well. That sucks. I didn't even realize. Excuse me. That kind of sucks, but we'll see. I think for the most part, then, Just has been the most consistent. Qual Matthew, Jason Joseph. It's been a little. I guess it's been mixed. This is kind of a shot in the dark because Jakub Szymanski was the guy indoors, but then he got, I think, struck with a few injuries and setbacks. Martinez has always been someone who's in the mix. Jason Joseph again, and then Qual Matthew. So I don't know. We'll see. This is like, I don't know. This is we'll see. And then yes, Enrique Lopez is like, but has he been consistent enough this year? I don't even know. His best is 13:31 this year behind all these other guys. It's like, it's a little tough to say, okay, he's like, I guess it's just a mixed bag. Let's just say this. It's a mixed bag. For the most part. A lot of these guys are injured, but we'll see. 13:02 championship record, Colin Jackson, 1998. This isn't going down. It's not going down. Yeah, the European hurdlers just aren't challenging the top names, but they have the talent. So yeah, I just don't think it's going down. So we'll see. All right, we got to roll through because I know we're almost at 2 hours. Let's go to men's 400 hurdles. 400 hurdles. This is the Karsten Warholm show, like done and set. Like, I mean, no one is going to be challenging Karsten Warholm. He's proven that he is like right back into the conversation as like a, I don't know. Alison Dos Santos is looking crazy, but this is all about Karsten Warholm here, right? Like no one is really going to be challenging Karsten Warholm for this gold medal. I just think it's a matter of like how fast does he go, and I think he has the championship record if I'm correct. But you do have Emil. He ran 47 this year, 47.5. Yeah, so it's really just those two. But I just really want to highlight that Karsten Warholm is not done. Like I know he's just not done. He's still in the mix. He's still been consistent. He's running 46s, 47 lows. Like Karsten Warholm is gonna go to the World Ultimate Champs and be a true contender for the gold medal. Now, Alison Dos Santos is on a different level. I think he's on pace to like potentially break 46 seconds, but Karsten Warholm is the guy here. Yes, this record should go down. 46.98 by Karsten Warholm back in 2024. This should like this should go down. He literally just ran 46.61. Like he just ran this. So yeah, Carson Warholm, he's the guy to actually beat here. Um, okay. Uh, Before I get to the, let me highlight real quick. I'm gonna roll through these very quickly. Shout out to the men's high jump. No one too crazy in the field. Shout out to Mondo Duplantis. Of course, I guess the question is, okay, can he actually break the world record once again? Obviously, he's the guy. It is what it is. Corrales, you have Sandre Gudmundsson, but like, you know, they are fighting for the lesser medals. It's all about Mondo Duplantis in the pole vault. I'll come back to the men's long jump in a second. Men's triple jump, I really like this field. Andy Diaz Hernandez and Pedro Pichardo. This is going to be a very good competition. I'll say that. Very good competition between these two guys. Do not sleep on this men's triple jump. Very excited to see, how these guys actually do play out and how they actually do compete. After that, I'm going to come back to the men's triple jump in a second, and then I'm going to come back to the women's, no, my bad. I'm going to come back to the women's 800. Shout out to the triple jump for the women. Really not going to be a super high quality field. I don't think anyone, yeah, okay, 14.5, so decent field, but nothing crazy. Ivana Spanovic, of course, she's been transitioning over to the triple jump, but shout out to Ivana. You have Adaeja. She's been someone who's in the mix. Daria is always someone. Ilona, right, from France. If I'm correct, is she from France? Oh, no, from Belgium. In the mix. So we'll see. Women's triple jump. Shout out to, I'll come back to the women's long jump in a second. Shout out to women's pole vault, Tina Sute. You have Wilma, always names to be in the conversation. Women's high jump, Yaroslava Mahuchik, Angelina Topic. Topic is someone who should not be slept on. I remember it was a shock, right, when she didn't make the Olympic Games final. Yeah, I remember it was kind of a shock. But Mahuchik is the clear favorite in this field. And then also you have, let me see. Yeah, you have Gerashenko and Mahuchik. And yeah, those are only, yeah, Kulichenko from Cyprus. So yeah, that's the women's high jump. But the other ones I did just want to highlight, shout out to the women's long jump. This will be a pretty good field that I'm excited to see, how it actually does play out. So, and I'm going to talk about this in tandem with the men's long jump, but here we have the women's long jump. Shout out to Larissa Yapachino. You have Malaki Mihambo. You have Hilary Kapcha. You have Gata de Sousa. You have Maja Askag. I don't even know how to pronounce her name. Apologies, but Askag. This is going to be a very good field. Very, very good field. You already have two women, Larissa Apicino and Malaki Mihambo, who have jumped over 7 meters this year, right? Malaki Mihambo just did the 7:05, if I'm correct. Then you have Hilary Kapcha and I'm not even pronouncing it correctly, but Hilary, and then you have Agata de Sousa, who have jumped 7.69 this year. Very consistent. So I'm excited to see how this women's long jump actually does play out. Very, very strong competition. And a lot of these women are going to, actually, let me just cross check, but I think a lot of these women are going to the World Ultimate Championships already locked in as well. From Europeans, right? So you have Malaki Mihambo, you have Larissa Apicino, you have Hilary, and you have Agata de Sousa. So this long jump field is almost a preview for World Ultimate Champs. Just add in Tara Davis-Woodhall, add in my bad, who am I forgetting? Monet Nichols, right? Add in Linares, so add in Alyssa Jones. This European women's long jump is going to be good. Men's long jump, though, this is big. Let me just get this. Men's long jump is going to be very, very big. This is where you have a stacked field. And then shout out to the women's long jump. Yes, 7:30. This is not happening. It's not happening. Yeah, it could take, I think it could take 690 to get on the podium for sure. But 7:30 is not happening. All due respect to Malaki Mihambo, who has jumped 7:30 before. Men's long jump, though, this is a very good field. Y'all should not sleep on this competition. This is probably the best long jump competition that we're going to get all year. Men's long jump. Listen, you have Miltiades Tenteglu. You have hold on, let me just note this down real quick. Okay, so Miltiades Tenteglu, you have Simone Ehammer, you have Sara Boykov, you have Gerson Balde, you have Mattia Ferlani, and you have a bunch of guys as well. The men's long jump is stacked. Like it's so stacked this year. And we are on the verge of seeing like we're probably gonna see something very, very special. Like very, very special. Um in the men's long jump, Miltiades Tentaclou has been on fire. He jumped 861 and then he jumped 866. But in this 866 competition, he also jumped 865. So he was like on fire. Simon Ehammer, he jumped 851 earlier this year, right? Sara Boykov, he's jumped 849. You have Gerson Balde, he's jumped 846, right? Mattia Ferlani, indoors, he jumped, or outdoors, but he jumped 843. Like, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. I'm hyped to see this men's long jump. And yes, 865 by Tentaclou back in 2024. I think it can happen. It could happen. We can see an 887, and like these guys are gonna be pushing each other. Like it's gonna be heavy. Like this is going to be a very good competition. Can we see an 8-7 here? Can we see maybe 3 guys over 850? Right? Yeah. Okay. So that's what I was just thinking. Like, I believe 850 or more is needed to podium in the men's long jump. Like, can we see 3 guys over 850? I don't think. I don't think we've had. I think Budapest 2000, and I could be cross-checked, but Budapest 2023 men's long jump. And then after this, I'm going to talk about the women's 800. I think this was one of the farther competitions. Now I'm actually forgetting, but 2 guys got over 850 in this competition. Then, if I'm correct, indoors, where is indoors? Let me see. Let me see if I can pull this up. So indoors at the World Indoor Championships, let's see, World Indoors in 2026 is what I'm looking for. This was 2025. So indoors in 2025, no, 830. 2026, if I'm correct, no, it was only 846. So Budapest 2023, I think that might have been one of the last times we saw a championship competition with 2 guys over 850. I could be corrected, but listen, I'm excited for this men's long jump. We'll see how this actually does play out. It's going to be stacked. This is going to be stacked long jump. Okay. Yeah, I don't think the long jump has ever been this stacked at the European level. On the men's side, there's too many contenders to win this competition. I agree. So yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Okay. So last one, I'm going to roll through this because I actually got to jump off because I've already been a little too much, but women's 800 here. It's going to be the last one because I got to jump off, but Audrey Vero. So Audrey Vero, Keely Hodgkinson, Femke Bordeaux Bowl, apologies, and Anais Bourgois, if I'm correct with the pronunciation, but this is going to be a good women's 800. Obviously, it's like these 3 women, Audrey, Keely, and Femke, and then Bourgois, like she's going to be in the mix as well. Having all of them have run 155 or faster. Obviously, Audrey has run 153, Keely with her 154, and Femke has been on a roll. I think Femke might really do some damage here, but Keely wants some like redemption from, some of her quote-unquote lackluster performances and the losses, especially after she lost to Audrey Vero and she set her personal best. She's had some up and down performances. She lost to She lost to Lillian O'Dira. She got injured had some setback at British Championships in the 400. She she had the fall and then her knees were kind of like injured and that led to the loss at that Prefontaine to Lillian. So we'll see what actually does go down. But yeah, shout out to the women's 800. I'm going to close out because I got to actually end off. But I'm going to do recaps of the U20 champs and of the European champs. So we'll definitely tap in and take a look at those afterwards. But yeah, appreciate y'all. 800, yes, record 155. That should go down. That should be gone. But appreciate y'all. Got to close out. And yeah, tap in. I'll have a couple other videos coming out through the week as well. But primarily U20s and European champs. We'll definitely be recapping them after the fact. But have a good rest of Tuesday, y'all.